Burnout Box, and the secret is out. Season 2, episode
18. That's what it was.
It is so crazy. It's like I haven't done this in 2 weeks.
I haven't done it in 2 weeks.
Because last week we were in the field at the Carlisle Ford National Show spying on a 2020 GT500. And let me tell you something about that. That car had a VIN number. It's kind of odd. Almost like you could order parts for it. So it was just crazy. Like it was like a real car.
Like a real car.
Yeah. And then they had like this really ragged out pre-production development mule that had like all these carbon 3D printed parts on it and stuff like that right next to it. So you got to see like the concept and the finished product. But anyways, if you're interested in seeing the 2020 GT500, go back to our video from last Thursday. We were at Carlisle Ford Nationals. Now we're back in the shop, and the big secret is out. Right, babe?
It's out.
Yes.
The big secret.
The big... Carrie, look, I see concern on your face.
Exceptions that are out there right now about the blower.
Address those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have people that are out there saying it's created by Eaton, and then they're sitting there saying it's created by Magnuson, and then they're saying it's an Eaton blower made by Magnuson. How can you call it VMP? So I think that there are a lot of misconceptions.
Yeah.
We need to take people through this process a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, I was thinking about it last night, and Ford builds engines, right? The Coyote is a Ford engine. But did they make the pistons that are in that engine? No, they had Molly make those pistons because Molly is
The piston person.
like top tier supplier for pistons. And then they put those in a Ford engine, and just anyways, it all kind of goes from there. We use Eaton rotor packs because they have the best supercharger technology out there, in our opinion and in our experience, and I believe our results.
The OEMs kind of think so too.
Yeah, Ford and Chevy think so too. So we use Eaton rotor packs, and like I said, they're patented. They've done the design and engineering work to produce a rotor pack. So if the price is right, why not use the best? There's so many parallels that come up in everyday life. Like
if you're gonna make macaroni and cheese, do you think Velveeta made those shells?
Yeah, like do you brew your...
I mean, you know that I only make stuff from scratch, but...
Yeah. Like you like to drink. Do you distill your own alcohol or you just go buy your favorite brand? We chose to work with Magnuson products to develop this particular supercharger because they have certain patent pending technology
And the capabilities to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which was make you guys the best supercharger.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they were able to address all of my design concerns and basically put it all together in one package that did what we wanted to do, and the freaking results have been amazing, beyond expectation. Even they didn't know it was going to perform this well. And anyways, more on. I don't want to go too far into that because I start to spill.
I do think it's also worth saying that VMP's blower is actually designed by Justin. Justin sat down and created a design, presented it for manufacturing. So that's why it's a VMP blower. It's not...
That's why it has our name on it. That's why it's available exclusively through VMP. You cannot buy this from anybody else.
Can't buy it from Eaton. Can't buy it from Magnuson.
Yeah. This has everything that I want in a supercharger. Everything that Rebecca wants to go really, really fast down the quarter mile.
I plan to go really, really fast. I dropped off engine parts yesterday.
Everything that we need to meet, to produce the best possible tunes on a vehicle with this supercharger. Even considerations to meet emissions targets for those types of requirements in certain states and stuff. We will have EO numbers in the coming months for the entire line of VMP superchargers. There are a whole lot of things that have to be managed and targeted when you're producing a product. And nothing happens in a vacuum. Nothing happens from one single source these days, because you can get a lot more done with the right people involved.
We have a couple comments. Do you want me to go ahead and read them off to you?
Sure.
Okay. So Carol, looks like Carl Play says, yes, please. Meaning in general, I think he's excited about all things Gen 3. You're being asked, does this mean the Gen 3 will be cheaper?
Yes, it will be.
Will it be going down in price? That's what people want to know.
It will be.
We've been asked this several times about Terminators. So will there be one available for the 03, 04 Terminators?
So, poses an interesting question. Are people willing to put their money where their mouth is, and are they willing to put enough people willing to put their money where their mouth is? Because demand always makes the business case better. So anyways, that's something we can discuss in the comments later. But if you're serious and you'd be willing to put down a deposit, post in the comments. But at this very moment, we're launching this Gen3R product for Coyote GT500, and we're working our 1819 stuff. If there's enough demand for Terminator, we'll consider doing something for that too.
Snowcone says, Justin, come install a 3R on my GT500 in Seattle.
Well, I want to go to Seattle.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't been to Seattle yet. I want to go.
You got like what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to ask Carrie and Brian and Chris if they were happy that I was not the person to answer the Terminator question. I'm not the person.
Actually, I was expecting a little different answer, but that's okay.
I don't know, I kind of gave a creative answer because it has been in the back of my mind. There's just a lot of targets that we're after right now.
My answer was not at this time, but we will see if the market will wants it enough. So Black Ascension, Cheyenne, I don't know, it says, I hope this thing isn't too much more expensive than the Gen 3. That sucker is going to be much desired.
$4,200. It is an incredible value for the performance and the technology and the reliability that we're able to put into the supercharger.
Absolutely.
Snowcone says, I've already been chatting with your salesperson about coming to Seattle. Ask your salesperson, Matthew.
Okay, maybe one of our tuners, Matt.
Maybe that's what I would guess if he says Matthew.
Yeah, you don't happen to have maybe a 3-4 bedroom Airbnb that me and Rebecca and the kids can stay at, so we can work that out,
I feel like there would be a lot of Airbnbs there. I don't know
It seems like there would.
I don't know why I've made this up in my mind, but
Just for the record, I've already had done some looking on Airbnbs to take a trip out there at one point, and yeah, there are quite a few.
Nice.
There are quite a few, depending on where in Seattle. Brandon says, would love to see the dyno difference between, I guess he's saying VMP's new charger versus Roush's new front feed.
Roush's is an 18 up
yeah,
supercharger
we're like
option.
apples to fish right now.
Yeah.
Nastang says all domestic OEMs use Eaton almost exclusively.
Yeah.
And of course, Snowcone said not necessarily. What about Paxton and Vortec?
They are not an OEM on any mass-produced vehicle. At one point, like Koenigsegg or something was using them for low-volume production. You might find some kit car manufacturers, but it's very different to have a supercharger directly on top of the engine and that closely connected to it. It produces a totally different feel.
Yeah, driving feel is totally different.
Yeah.
Daniel says, how much horsepower can a maxed out 3R make on built motor to handle the power? On a built 5-liter to be specific.
I would say,
This is where we wanted to go with this. This is great.
yeah. We've seen 10, on a 5-liter, we've seen 1050 real horsepower so far. We do not believe, we will not have any problem breaking 1200. Almost 1300 has already been made on a GT500 with the Gen3R. Everything we've put this on, it is a 50 to 100 wheel improvement over the old Gen 3 at the same boost or same pulley size. Sorry, what were you going to say, babe?
I was gonna, mention that maxing out a blower is not as easy as you would think. You'd think, oh, just put the smallest pulley on the supercharger, biggest crank pulley, and hey, it's maxed out. But what we ran into with my car, a pretty good performing vehicle, is that it started showing the deficiencies in other places in my setup. So my heads, were great until we just exceeded their flow capabilities. So you find, it started challenging our converter tuning. It started challenging us in ways that we hadn't been challenged before. So to get to maxed out, it's going to take us a while. I mean, I don't think we were there with my car on Gen 3. So,
You find, when you try to make more horsepower, you find weaknesses, and then there's various ways around them.
Snowcones, who was asking about you coming to Seattle, says come do a YouTube video with the Bald Eagles machine. Justin, do you have an engineering background?
Not as much as I'd like to, but a lot of, basically my biggest strength is testing and tuning and then manufacturing. How do we, I know that if I do this, I can make more horsepower. Then how do we bring that to market in a reliable, cost-effective, mass-produced way?
Justin's really, really good at logistics, like any type of logistics. Anything from building a supercharger and delivering it to market to, hey, I've got to be like 3 places at once. Tell me how to do that. And like, it's a serious talent of his.
Thank you, babe. Thank you.
Nick says, questions about the 2020 GT500 trams. How do you think the dual clutch trams will work for drag strip racing, or launching, sorry? How will we be able to adjust the RPM to launch at, etc.? I understand torque converters in autos and clutches and sticks, still trying to learn more on the DCT.
I think the DCT is going to be a lot of tuning, because if you put too much power to it, you'll break it. Mm-hmm. That GT500 is going to come out, and we're going to be able to make 1,000 wheel with it. And everything else, though, the transmission, the rear end, is just going to be along for the ride.
Yeah, I foresee some broken transes.
Yeah.
But the aftermarket will figure it out.
Yeah. We got Ben Calamer on speed dial. Ben, we need you to learn how to work on DCTs.
Mad Max says, hello guys, it was nice to see you at Ford Nationals.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Or on Ford Nationals. Abdullah Zizi says, are the 2018 GTs getting a Gen 3R?
There will be an 1819 supercharger kit that will ultimately be called the Gen 3R, because it'll have the same technology in it and the same patent pending technology. So we know that 1819 supercharging is a really important
market.
Yeah, and that our customers really, really want that from us. So we are working diligently, and we are hoping to give you a sneak peek in the next week or two.
So John Hartman is on the line, and he said that he's getting quite a few questions about where do they find it on the website. So we're in the process of getting it up on the website. It's there. Just a couple tweaks need to be done. But sales and support can help you with anything that you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah,
if you wanna order
absolutely.
one.
They're available for sale.
We're taking orders and they're starting to ship. They will be up on the website later tonight, and we will.
If you know how Justin works, it'll be like midnight.
We will post the links. Yes, if you know how I work. I got so much done last night.
I'm glad. I got to shower.
At 1 in the
Thank you,
morning.
Annie.
I also ate a bowl of ice cream while you were out there.
I noticed that.
It was good.
Another person came on and said, when will it be available? It is available now. Price they're asking is $41.99.
Yep.
Yep. And they're talking about the current. They're not referencing the 1819, right? Okay.
No, this
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
is talking about, I believe, the
Awesome. We had switched back and forth a couple
Sorry.
times. I wanted to verify.
let's see here. Kevin Dosty said, hey guys, just stopping by to say you are awesome.
Hey,
Hey,
Kevin.
Kevin. Hope the
Thanks.
car's doing great for you.
Mustang GT says, what's the most horsepower that I can get out of the Gen3R? You said it's rated at 1200 rear wheel horsepower.
If the engine setup's there, almost 13's already been made, and we haven't found the limit yet.
Oh, I see. Black Sunshine, White Zombie song came back because I was having a hard time saying his name. John Bailey says, how much horsepower will the Gen3R on my stock 11 GT automatic, lower 10s in quarter?
All right, so we're gonna put the biggest, second to largest pulley on the Gen3R, and then you can actually go run low 10s in an automatic very, very easily, with like 700 rear wheel horsepower. Actually, sheesh, you can go 9s with that.
Janssen50 says, good day. Nice to see you all today. Rebecca, you must be excited to get in the new car and make all that power.
I am. I'm very excited. The old car's going to be done sooner than the new car, but
So, you're being asked, are you referring to John Lund Sr.'s Trinity car with the 3R? That was an incredible performance.
Yes, absolutely. And we have several other cars and customers that will be recreating similar performances, but for now, John Lund is the king. Check out Alejandro Flores' video
Yeah,
on
they
his,
did a great job on that
his
video.
YouTube channel. Yeah. So that was actually secret and under wraps for a couple weeks. You gotta imagine it's hard not to tell anybody. So
John F. says, I'm guessing he's saying he has the current Gen 3 on a 2017 stock motor, running Boostain with all the supporting mods. How much more? Question mark.
So we have started to answer that question a couple different ways. Track Attack, we did a low boost Gen3R test on Track Attack. That video will be coming out soon. John Hartman, who's also been on here on this chat right now, is picked up some nice gains on a kind of what I'd call a moderate boost.
yeah.
I all look at it in terms of pulley size, and it's crazy the power and the times that John's running with a 69 millimeter upper only, and going
he's 6 rib,
8.
right?
Yeah, 6 rib.
Yeah, craziness.
But to answer your question, once you start to go to like an 82 millimeter and below, that's when all the flow and the patent pending technology and everything else inside the supercharger really starts to shine and improve over the Gen 3.
Brett Lemminger says, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Brett.
Hey, Brett, thanks for joining us.
Garrett Shaw says, ready to have my car down there on Monday.
Awesome. We'll get her done.
Dalton Samuel says, hello from the FTI crew. Your new Gen 3R is impressive.
Hey, Dalton, what's going on? Thanks, Dalton.
Raphael says, good morning, VMP. When is it available and the price?
They are shipping and 4,200, and we'll have them. You'll be able to order on the website later tonight.
Ariel Salinas says, hello, guys.
Hey guys, I have. Sorry, Ariel, I did not get a chance to call you like When did I say I was going to do it? Like Monday or Tuesday night? Tuesday night. So,
And I see all the chats. I just don't ever get a chance to answer them.
One of these puppies has your name on it. Do not worry.
Rob Young says, how much boost is possible on my 2011? It's an 11-to-1 illuminator with my 95-pound injectors before in need to upgrade injectors.
So what was the question again?
So
Did you
how
catch
much
that?
boost is possible?
It's a couple questions.
Okay.
How much boost is possible on my 2011 11-to-1 illuminator? He's got 95-pound injectors. He wants to know how much boost is possible before he needs to upgrade his injectors.
I would say 20, 23 pounds easily.
Adrian says, when will the Gen 4 come out?
We do our product development and our stuff a little bit differently. We are, like I said, we are very, very happy with the 2.65 liter rotors, but there are a ton of ways to optimize the package around the rotors. So we're not necessarily trying to come out with rotor revision after rotor revision after rotor revision.
I mean, we stayed with a 2.3 for
A long
a
time.
long time.
We're getting the power out of the case. So, you know, the naming terminology, I don't know, different people do it different ways, but this is the Gen3R. And what we're learning is that this technology is tunable and upgradable depending on what power level you are targeting, how fast you're spinning the blower. And that is, honestly, I believe that is an industry first to be able to do that without having to go and make a whole new rotor set. So more of those details are going to come out over the coming weeks.
Going back to DCTs, Nastang says, remember with DCTs too, if you break it, you break all of it. The package is one unit. The input clutch system is built into the case. It's not like you can remove them like a torque converter.
That's mother frickin' scary.
Yeah, it really is.
Drew says, thanks for bringing my parts to Carlisle, even if I had to make 2 trips. Had a great time as always, both days.
Aw, thanks, Andrew.
Good to hear. Sorry about forgetting that bag of parts for you.
Gaptime says, since I'm running 93 or 100 octane tune with the Roush 2300 on a 17, does it make sense to go with the Gen3R over the Gen 3, or is it overkill since I'm limited to 93 in boost stain?
What's the pulley combo?
He does not say. He says he's running 93 or 100 tune Roush 2300 on a 17.
Okay, so it's a Gen 2 Coyote. So it's got the little bit better motor, a little bit better heads. You've got high octane available to you.
He said 79 millimeter.
79 millimeter. So if you had to buy a new blower today, I would get the R, and that way you have the best on tap.
Because eventually you're going to want to build it, or you're going to need to build it.
Yeah. Let's take, it's just a 6 already. He's still on a stock motor, but he already wants a freaking R, and we're just like, please, it's just a 6. Put a motor in your car before we give you this bad mofo blower. He has a motor to put in it too. I can't believe that 8,000 RPM on a stock
I know.
Gen 2 Coyote.
Chad Dowd's on the line,
Hey, Chad.
and he says, hell, 1,300 wheel horsepower in 7-second times. Great new Gen3R. Best PD blower out there. Changed my mind.
Hey, Chad, you're one of those people that made way too much power on their stock motor for way too long and got lucky, since we're talking about that right now.
I feel like we need a meme.
But
Changed my mind.
Chad is putting a built motor in his car. So I hope those head studs showed up along with that new supercharger. So, yeah.
So Jet Joey 19 wants to know max boost for a F-150 Coyote swap with Mustang cams and timing components.
How long do you want it to live? I mean, like 12 to 13 pounds, you live long life. And 18 pounds, take your chances. Take a chance. I think that's on the sushi menu since we're doing Asian themed. You know.
He says Gen 2.
Is that on Sushi Pops?
Somebody's, yeah.
I think it's on Sushi Pops.
Okay.
I think.
He came back and said Gen 2.
Okay, that's good. Gen 2. I mean, you know what? That's the low compression F-150 too. So, yeah, we could definitely turn that sucker up. I mean, my truck runs like 18 pounds with F-150 cams. So.
John Hartman came back and said John Hartman for the win. Haha, just kidding. John Jarkin says, how much difference in horsepower is the new VMP throttle body 69 millimeter over the 67 or the monoblade?
So that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
It's a complicated question. The 69 is only going to be about 5 to 6 horsepower over the 67. The monoblade is still going to make about 10 to 15 more, the small monoblade. It really just depends on what your goals are, both horsepower and drivability, and then pick the right throttle body for what you're trying to do. You know, all these throttle bodies, if you go from like a twin 69 to like this big one here I got sitting on the table, most of the power gain at high boost levels, because at the lower boost levels there'll be less of a difference. Most of the power gain's above 5,000 RPM, and it is, you know, try to evaluate how much time you spend above 5, 6, 7. So, 30 horsepower may sound like a lot, but if it's only at the very top of the rev range, then
what does that mean functionally?
Yeah. Like if you want the thing to drive perfect like stock, then the twin 69 that's what that was designed for.
So can we look at that big one you got?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was even going to let you measure. I was going to have you hand me the measuring device.
Yeah, I don't know if my female brain can handle using a micrometer.
I was just afraid you might use it to measure other things. I need to embarrass you. You might make jokes. So this is, if you're going for max horsepower, this is the throttle body to get for Gen3R. This is our new 163R. And 163 is not a millimeter. It is a surface area. I wrote the product copy last night, so I have a big
I haven't read it yet.
I have a big long spiel about that.
I should read it.
So the 163R is actually 153 millimeters wide, but here is where all the flow comes from. It is 82.5 millimeters tall. So, yeah.
Are they well calibrated?
It is a big, wide opening. Chris, can we switch to camera 2? Let's see here. All right, so just lining this up right here. So yeah, this big freaking opening, 153 millimeter by 82.5 millimeter tall, which equals out to 16.3 square inches. Since we're in America, inches, millimeters are just a nuisance basically, but we use them for a lot of stuff, so.
A nuisance?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, the scientist in you.
Noise wants to know, when will there be a complete kit available for Gen 2 Coyotes?
We'll have the kits up on the website in the next week or two. Basically, it's just going to be a little bit of a upcharge over the regular Gen 3 kit.
Prince Spence says, thinking of getting a 14 GT, how much would it cost to get a Gen3R kit for it? And what would the horsepower numbers be?
It's going to be around 8,500, and it's minimum 700 wheel pretty easily, and then it's just going to be a matter of how far do you want to turn it up, and what kind of fuel are you going to use. That's all with stock engines. That's the limiting factor. Is how aggressive do you want to be, and what fuel are you going to feed it? Because we can do a lot with better fuel.
So Mitchell Page is on the line. Hi,
Hey, Mitchell.
Hey.
I heard you were going to have a race.
So on Tuning Tuesday, we weren't sure whether or not Mitchell actually sold his car. And then the same day.
Oh, good Lord, this man.
Oh,
Right.
man.
So then the same day, next thing I know, Mitchell posts a Facebook post that he had something else kind of cool there in his possession, such as a Gen3R.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was pretty funny because both the guys were sitting up there and they said, "Hey Mitchell, why don't you chime in? Do you still have your car?" Dead silence.
Yeah, well, he's the ultimate grudge racer, so he can't talk.
Yeah.
So Mike Watson says, "You guys rock. Love VMP products." Chris says, "One day I'll own a VMP blower," and he puts a sad, crying face.
Hey, if you just want to own a VMP tune, just hop on our website, order that. As long as you've got a car that we can tune, and we'll take care of you in that area for now.
Yeah. And if not, you can get one of our USB drives.
Yeah, perfect.
They're $20.
Travis Schott says, "Ford is going to hate warranting the DCT in the new GT500 with the way they are going to be beat on."
I think that's right. I think that's really right.
Stephen Landry said DCTs are strong and there's a shop that builds them. Biggest thing is upgrading the clutch pads and adding a cooling system for it.
A cooling system? That's awesome.
Eli says he loves the manifold video, but he's curious if we're going to do a boosted test. If not, what manifold do you think would respond to the boost best? Let's say Gen 1 shifting at 7,800 and 800 to the wheel.
I don't think we're going to have a chance to do a boosted test. Actually, one of our tuners did one before he worked here, and maybe he could do a video rehashing all those results. But I would go for the 18-up intake manifold if you're boosted. Just the price is right, and we know that it's tuned for the higher RPM part of the power band.
I want to put it out there just because we're being asked again, and there are people that are coming onto the stream late. We're being asked, what is the cost of the Gen3R? It's $41.99, just for the head unit.
If everybody's wondering why I'm looking at this thing
I
so much,
I am. Like, Chris put up the camera so you wouldn't have to lift it and stuff.
we've had a bunch of blowers in-house for the past month. But we had 5 or 6 of them, and those were the ones that we used to shoot the initial videos and everything. This is the full production version, and we did some really simple stuff to it. We machined some bosses down a little bit more just to make the bolts easier to get to. We moved a couple tubes on the back to make things easier to get to. This, of course, is a GT500 version because it has EGR on it. So I'm just admiring all of our hard work. Yeah, you see right there? Mm-hmm. And we put Gen3Rs have a slightly different supercharger hub to basically handle the power and boost levels that they're capable of compared to the old design. All the old pulleys are cross-compatible. This hub is just a little bit beefier. So, I looked at all this stuff in CAD and everything, but this is the first time I'm seeing the finished product.
Topper Harley says, odd situation came about this weekend, traveling in the weeds of the state and wasn't able to find 93 to go with my tune. What's a good Band-Aid? 91 was all I could find.
Use that 91 and don't drive it hard. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't panic. Do you remember you got a panicked phone call from me a long time ago that I had accidentally spaced out and put 87 in a car that was, I can't remember if it was supercharged, turbocharged, I don't remember what it was, but I was all freaked out and you're like, you are fine, just drive the car.
Just drive the car, babe. It'll be good. It'll be good.
You know how I drive, so you didn't even have to say don't drive it. As long as I'm not on a track, because I will get pulled over.
Chuck Harder's on the line.
That's surprising.
Hey, Chuck.
He said, heard you guys were building the baddest 1819 kit on the planet. Can you confirm or deny?
Chuck, we can absolutely confirm, and
That's
your
true.
car will be one of the first ones to get one.
Once he gets it fixed.
Ooh, low
I was
blow.
gonna say it doesn't need to be fixed to.
Poor Chuck. No. He said, I shouldn't be driving it because the wheel's kind of bent in. Stephen Landry says the 3R seems very efficient. I miss my 2.3. I may have to buy a new car just to put it on.
I support that decision. Do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
William Ethorn says, hey everyone.
Hello.
Travis Schott, you remember Travis was here during our event? He said, Justin, with y'all's tune, it's letting me rev to 8K, just like it's just a 6, but without that blower, LOL. He says, but I have been making sure not to hit 8K for good reason.
Okay, cool. And I mean, that gives you plenty of breathing room to stay off the rev limiter. We can always lower it a tad if you're uncomfortable with it, but as long as you're not banging off of it, I would just let it eat.
Justin Forrest says Tipper is excited to see everyone on the 17th.
Awesome, awesome.
Mike Mendoza says, what's up, guys? Quick question. Would y'all buy the Gen 3 head unit back if I wanted to go with a 3R? And if so, what do y'all usually buy them back for?
So we don't have a trade-in program for the Gen 3 because it is worth so much just out there on the open market. It is a great blower. The trade-in program for the old 2.3s, there were so many different versions and there was such a big performance spread that we decided to take those as trade-ins to make the Gen 3 more available to people. And the trade-in program, the 2.3 TVS trade-in program will apply to Gen 3 or Gen 3R purchases from VMP. But if you've got a Gen 3 now, just sell that thing outright.
Yeah,
and
you'll sell it.
Yeah, and then get a Gen 3R.
Richard says, I have a 12 GT with a Gen 2R. What is the safest pulley size I can run all stock Gen 1 motor?
79 is what a lot of the hot combinations run.
Brandon, this is actually a pretty good question. So Brandon is asking from a 15 to 17 and then 18 up, 5 liters, what are you considering a built motor?
That is a good question.
So the car we did the video on that made 975 with a Gen 3 and then 1050 with the Gen 3R, that had rods and pistons. That is the beginnings of a built motor. But so it's stronger, but it's technically a little bit heavier of a rotating assembly. So
And you don't have sleeves.
it actually costs you a few horsepower. So that's a motor that's been built for strength, but as far as like the head flow and the camshafts, things that make power, it's all stock.
Your dad says hi from Charleston.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Ray.
John Carroll wants to know.
Let me show him the baby real quick. He hasn't seen her in a while.
Oh, okay.
Here she is.
Hi, my baby.
Okay, go ahead.
John Carroll wants to know, does a Whipple 170 directly bolt up on the 3R?
So this is a future video about throttle body sizes.
We had this question.
I think Lethal has the wrong listing for the Whipple 170 on their website. I think they actually have what at one point was referred to as the big bore mono, because there is a 170 elliptical and then there is a big bore mono. John Hartman has what I would call the big bore mono, which is a tall mono. It's around 15.1 square inches. It's a little bit close on this side. You'll need to check the clearance on your parts, but it will bolt up. And to that note, our 163R is actually almost 10% bigger, about 7 to 9% larger than that Whipple throttle body that a lot of people have, a tall mono. So, if you're looking to upgrade to a Gen 3R, get our throttle body, then you can sell that old one. But that's kind of the skinny on throttle body stuff.
John Hartman says holla.
Holla.
As soon as you mentioned him.
Hey,
Yep.
hey, John, you see this clearance cut right here? So it's 7.8 millimeter, which if I recall correctly, should be enough to clear the big bore mono without any issues to clear the motor box.
Adrian, going back to the throttle body from earlier, says all the power from that throttle body.
All the power.
You're being asked again, and for those who are coming late, Terminators, Gen3R? Question mark.
We, if there's enough interest, we'll consider it.
Speed Addict. We've already answered that, and he's been on the line, so I know he's seen it. Superstock 50 says, I'd love a Gen3R. It'd be the best way to throw up my Gen 1 Coyote. Slim Tim 04 wants to know ID or FIC.
Both work good. If
Yeah.
you plan to go really large, ID has got some really good data for their large injectors.
I run a big ID injector.
Yeah, 1700 ID.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I don't want anybody to have size envy.
John Hartman came back and said, sounds good. And I believe going back to the Whipple question or what have you, Brett Lemminger came on and said, not big enough.
Well, Brett's got a very, very interesting point there that's worth exploring. So, we didn't have the best throttle body lineup when we released the VMP Gen 3, the original 265 Gen 3. So, for the Gen 3R launch, we have taken a completely different look at the way we do things. And we have multiple throttle body offerings depending on what your goals are. The Twin 67, Twin 69, ultimate drivability. We have a monoblade that is a little bit smaller than this, which is still great for totally stock engines. This throttle body right here is going to be your mid to high range, 1,000 plus rear wheel horsepower type max effort setups that still need to run and drive really well on the street. I expect this throttle body to catch 90% of the market. We actually have been testing this on all kinds of different applications, manual transmissions, my F-150. On the F-150, that thing idles down to 550 RPM with that big throttle body. So one of the big advancements for us is if you have a 15-up car, using the 15-up style electronics, the gear ratio is better and the motor torque is better. Now, that being said, on a positive displacement supercharger, the bigger the throttle body, the better, up until you hit the limit of what the electronics can control. And that limit starts to happen with like KB168 and the VMP 173 throttle bodies.
Michael says, I want a Gen3R on my 18 GTPP Auto. Please, I beg you.
We're working
We
on it.
are working on it, and then coming days we're gonna have stuff to share. AKDMB,
another one of our regulars, says, after watching Lund Racing's GT500 make nearly 1,300 to the wheel with the Gen3R, does this mean that a VMP blower holds the record for the most powerful TVS car in the world?
Not to take anything away from our partners, but I think the answer is potentially yes. I don't know. I'll have to ask Mike what they've got out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not well versed in other lines, but I know with Ford stuff we are up there.
I mean, I will put a VMP Gen 3R up against any blower within a liter in size, and so we're potentially talking about not just the most powerful TVS blower, but the most powerful positive displacement blower out there.
God, I think of so many video possibilities.
Write them down, Carrie.
Blake wants to know, is that his blower on the table you forgot to mail him?
Blake, yep, Blake, we are working on that. Let's talk later tonight. So you are. I know we've been talking for a while, and you're very high up on the list. I think this one's going to go to Jordan Weir, but I have another one coming in as well.
Adrian says, do you think Cletus will get a Gen3R for neighbor? He already lights his tires on fire with the Gen 3.
Cletus is one crazy dude, so I think he will get a Gen 3R. Yeah.
Best thing to do is stay tuned to our social channels because you never know what might pop up.
Yep.
Cody says, confirm or deny. We've already answered this, but 04 Cobra, 0304 Cobra, it all depends on demand. We're not going to create it if there's not a demand for it, and how many people are going to actually put a deposit or put their money where their mouth is. Correct?
Yep, exactly. So post in the comments here if you're interested.
We're gonna do this like grudge racers. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
He says he's trying to determine whether he should wait and get one or if he should go turbo. Ray wants to know, do you make a ghost cam tune? I did not see any info on the website. I would need one for a Vortec V3 SI supercharger.
If you've got a Vortec blower, the strategies are a little bit different on those. So just reach out to, send an email to our tuning department and tell them what you got, and we might possibly be able to do a ghost cam tune for you.
Joe Detch says he's interested in a Terminator blower.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Joe, for the vote of confidence. I know you're a
Lock it in because I'm gonna start side bets.
long-time VMP customer.
IBO193 says, hi guys, congratulations on the baby and the Gen3R.
Thank you.
Two babies of ours.
David says, hi, I have a 15 GT with a Roush 2.3 blower, 79 millimeter pulley, fuel pump booster, GT 500 injectors. Would a 72 pulley be worth doing? I would be using 100 octane fuel, I believe butane. I do buy all my parts from VMP. Joe is my calibrator. So what would I need to buy? I'm happy with the power, but always want more.
You know, the immediate answer is yes. The careful calibrator in me says that 56s, you're pushing boost on the stock motor. What happens is that the 56s are enough if they have a good fuel system supplying them. But if you've got a questionable fuel system, which the factory pump, even with a booster, kind of counts as questionable, I would have a little more injector in it, like an FIC 1000. So all very doable, just cover it with plenty of fuel.
Ronald Harding came back and said he's also interested in a Terminator.
Okay, cool.
Maybe I need to make a spreadsheet of these names just so you guys are aware.
Yeah.
Nick says, what would you recommend using on an 10 to 11 GT? The goal is 650 to 700 horsepower.
10 to 11.
Are you confused?
2011?
Oh, I thought he said 10 to 11. I'm like totally misheard.
Oh, 1,000 to 1,100 real horsepower?
No, I misheard.
2010,
Okay, I didn't mishear.
2011 GT.
Okay, I did not mishear.
Oh.
On a 10 to 11 GT, the goal is 650 to 700.
So, that's my face looking at a Coyote engine on one hand and a 3-valve 4.6 on the other hand. So it's kind of a weird year range because the body was the same, but they changed engines. Yeah, you want to get a 2011 GT, like Chucky, slap this on there, make a bunch of horse pressure. Did I get that right, guys? Okay, thanks, guys. I always check with Brian and Chris. They know everything, so they know all the stupid stuff that I say.
They're exposed to a lot of it.
Yes, and you are too.
Yeah, but I ignore it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it though.
Jay,
Oh, Justin's vocabulary sucks again. Oh well.
JL wants to know, is a Gen3R available for GT350s?
You can buy our Coyote kit and put it on a GT350 with drop motor mounts. So it is very doable.
Sencac is on the line.
Syncac.
Hey, Rick.
And guess what? He's like screaming at me over here. He says yes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation points. Terminator Gen3R, please, with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exclamation points, all in capital letters.
Well, when's your car going to be finished, Syncac? When are we going to get your motor done?
Is it all in capitals because he's old and doesn't know not to do that?
I think he's excited.
Or is he
He's
excited?
really
I
excited.
think he's excited.
Nice.
You know I'm just messing with you, Rick.
John Hartman says we need one for 11 to 14 car stat. Let's see. Nick Poole says just a Mustang GT3 valve. Doesn't really go to anything. Best cams for 2012 GT500 running the Gen 3 and E85. L&M or JDM Superstock?
We do a lot of the L&M and SR cams. We actually keep them in stock. So that what I would say is our first deal right there.
Did it grow?
No, no, it didn't. I was, I was thinking about it, but.
Joe Spuglia says he's also interested in a Terminator, and he knows others as well.
Okay, cool.
David Glazer, the trade-up program for Gen 3R from a 2.3, is it the same bolt pattern?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Chad Dowd says, no one has even maxed the Gen 3 out, and then y'all go and give a Gen 3R to people to go to. He says, I love it.
They're just, we found some improvements, so we just had to do it. So, yeah.
Justin Forrest says, 98 Lincoln Mark 8 LSC with Termi head swap with a Gen 3R. And then he says, Rebecca, I'm finally getting it back.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Wow. Cool.
I think that would be really awesome.
We saw some nice Lincolns last weekend at Carlisle.
We did. And that frickin' Marauder
Oh my gosh.
makes $690.
With a roll cage in it.
Uh-huh.
A roll cage and a Marauder.
Cow hood, that thing was,
Yeah.
I like a Marauder. I like a Mark 8.
We have about 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay.
I have probably about 4 or 5 questions. Big O GTT says he's got an 18 Whipple S550 Mustang with Borla S-Type and Cook's catless headers. He's currently making $691 to the wheel. Can Boostain Pro get me to the 750 mark?
It depends. It really depends on where Spark is at right now. We've had great success with Boostain on the DI supercharged 18 up Mustangs. The reason I say DI supercharged 18 up because that engine has direct injection, it has high compression, and then of course you supercharge it. Some of those things work together, some of them don't, so they kind of balance each other out, honestly. And but I think it's possible, and we might be interested in tuning that for you if that's one of your goals. Get with our tuning department and mention my name, and we can see if that's something we would take on.
Bat wants to know, and I think this is a good question, is the Gen 3R a completely new supercharger, or is it just a new case?
It's a completely new case with patented pending technology that allows the 265 rotors to perform a lot better. So, like I kind of said earlier, everybody's hung up on rotor revisions and displacement and everything else. We found that's completely unnecessary.
Yeah, we've got the rotors that'll do what we need them to do.
Yeah.
We just need to make the technology to do it.
Yeah, the whole package, and we can actually tune the supercharger for the RPM range that you're going to be running. And there's more information on that in the future.
So this is kind of funny. So Nastang says, hey Justin, you keep measuring that thing. Did it change being on the table?
I asked, did it grow?
And then Snow Cones came and said, that's what she said. Sorry.
I'll tell everybody next time on Burnout Box next week. Oh.
So yeah, what's the plan for that?
I'm on the road next week. Rebecca's home. So.
But I likely will not come into the office because I'm going to be here Monday, Tuesday.
So just put in the comments whether you want me to do Burnout Box or Rebecca to do Burnout Box.
I'm going to choose you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't put you in that position.
That's okay.
Or
Do we maybe want to change it and do Burnout Box on Saturday from the American Muscle Show?
That might be an idea. Maybe Saturday morning from the American Muscle Show. Okay, so you now have 3 options to vote for.
we're being told make more Terminator videos.
We can do that.
Lock it in.
What'd you say?
I said lock it in.
Lock it in.
Nastang says, Rebecca, He wants Rebecca on Burnout Box.
Well, thanks for that vote of confidence.
We're getting another vote on Terminator videos. Induction Addiction says, will we see this coming for the 18 F-150 anytime soon?
Yes, absolutely. 1819 Mustang and F-150 will be our latest and greatest, like full supercharger kit. This head unit, of course, is the latest and greatest for GT500 and older Coyote.
Shane says, looking to get the Gen 3 for my 03 Cobra with the new 4.5 intake. I already have a triple pump for return style fuel system, overkill, but I got a good deal. What injectors do you recommend to get me around 750 to the wheel with room to grow?
If you've got a good fuel system with plenty of pressure, an FIC 1000 or an ID 1050 is plenty for a 4.6 liter Cobra. You know, because if you are ever to get close to maxing out those injectors, you just turn up the pressure to 50 or 60 base.
Jonathan Whitaker says, make more Terminator Fox body videos. Kurt says, what do you think about clutch-driven superchargers?
Not necessary. We got a bypass valve.
And this is going to be the last comment because we're at 2:31. Topper Harley says, thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for the work y'all do for the community.
Oh, thank you.
That was
It's
very nice.
nice.
That's a nice way to end the show.
Everybody, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check out our video if you want to learn our videos. If you want to learn more about the Gen3R, you can also check out
Alex's video
Yep.
and see them make a ton of horsepower on a GT500 with our blower.
Yep.
One more comment here real quick. Daniel Ramey,
Hey.
Stang Magazine, says, keep up the great work. You guys rock. Still using your tune.
Thank
and
you.
Our Pony is ready for any new product you want to send their way.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
see you at SEMA if you go.
Cool. All right. We'll see everybody next time.
Bye.